Good afternoon. I think it's Tuesday. Spring breaks in session this week. We had our senior champs meet this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We swam at the meet. We had 5 girls go individually and then 4 guys go individually. And we had quite a few relay-only swimmers, so we could do our A and B relays for both boys and girls, which was a really good opportunity and experience for some of the newer swimmers who haven't been to that bit high of a level of meet. Basically the state championships for club swimming in Florida. So it was good for those relay-only swimmers to come and experience that and hopefully make it next year. All right, in this video, I'm going to be recapping the meet. I'm going to start out with just some generalities that we saw at the meet and then plan moving into our training for the next 4 weeks. What we're going to work on, what was really good, what needed some work that we were a little bit disappointed with perhaps. And then after that, I'll go into some individual congratulations and recaps of each of the swimmers. In general, we swam really well. So we called this our mid-season rest meet. This was the end of week 12 for us. So what we did is we came down for just a couple days. Monday we did 5,500 yards. Tuesday was 3,500. Wednesday 2,500, and Thursday was 1,500. And then we swam the meet Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was good. We were ready for the meet. I thought they swam well. Kind of the prediction going in was that there would be really good 200s, as we've been focusing a lot on our 200s. The 100s would be solid, right around best times, and then 50s would be a little bit off the best times, just as we haven't done many sprints yet. Pretty much right on that, especially for the boys, we saw that. The girls were a little bit different, but overall the girls swam really well. We were really excited about some of the swimmers who kind of surprisingly dropped some time, which was exciting. But overall, super solid meet. Probably what's most encouraging is they swam kind of the way us coaches expected them to swim, which means we've been able to kind of synchronize with their bodies cycling up and down through the training process, and we were able to hit pretty solid times at the meet. All right, so a few differences between the girls and the guys. On the guys' side, we saw that they swam almost exactly like I said. Great 200s, very solid 100s. 50s were a little bit off their best times. We saw that they really have a good aerobic base, but we do need to start working on power, which is perfect because in 10 weeks we'll be into May, and it's now time to start doing our power training. So we're doing a split with the boys and girls in practices. The girls, what we saw is that they need a little bit more aerobic training, some lower heart rate, 140, 150, 160 range. To extend that, we need to keep doing that a little bit more often than we do with the boys. And we'll also start adding some power. But the plan is on Tuesdays to split the boys and girls. Boys will go do power sets with buckets, parachutes, whatever, and then do a stand-up set. And then the girls will do more of an aerobic set, 2 400s into some IMs, heart rate 160 or less. That'll be Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays, boys will recover. Girls will do a longer, easy swim that day. And then Thursday, all of them will do a stand-up set together. So the boys are getting 2 stand-up sets per week, and the girls will get 1 stand-up set per week. I do want to, especially for the boys, start getting them onto buckets, parachutes, resistance cords every day. So that's going to be a goal. And it'll switch. Like Tuesdays, we'll plan to do buckets. Wednesdays will be parachutes. Thursdays will be against the stretch cord, and then we might get some more buckets in on Fridays. Mondays, we'll just kind of flex it, see how it goes. But at least that way it's different for them, and we'll be able to do a full 4-week mesocycle where we build up for 2 weeks, and then we'll slowly kind of come down for them to recover for 2 weeks, and then we'll do a meet right at the end of that 4 weeks and see how they do. We'll have some of the older boys shave down for that meet because it'll be our last short course yards meet. One of the things was also we need to work on our kick. So talking with some of the other coaches and just gaining some knowledge throughout the weekend, we're going to do some more shoe kick. There's actually really good technique that the Florida Elite coach told me about working on kick. You know, kick should be pretty simple, and it is, but there are some technical things that I've never realized or noticed before, so I'm really excited to make a new video on that and share that with you guys. All right, so some of the things we saw technically with the kids' races was starts were pretty darn good. We were pretty happy with their starts. We were able to finish their races pretty well on the guy side. The girls, we did see some die off, especially in the 100s, which is kind of funny, but that second 50, they were hurting. One of the things we were disappointed with was our turns. Very hit and miss, and we've put 3 to 5 days of work in each week on those for the last 6 to 8 weeks. So we really expected to have the best turns in the meet. Now, since it was hit and miss, I think the kids understand it and they're grasping it, but since they weren't on a full taper and recovery, their body was kind of having trouble, struggling, getting tired, and also doing the correct technique, which is normal. When we rest at the end of the season, we should have very, very snappy turns. Our goal is to be the best in the nation at turns. Overall, the race strategy was good. In our 200s, which were really, really solid, we'd have a kid go out 25 and then go 27, 27, 27, and that was solid, especially now not being fully rested. Tempo was good. Breakouts were okay. Breaststroke, our initial push-off was wonderful, but we had some trouble pulling water in the out sweep with the arms with the big pull. So we need to work on getting into the proper position, but then also getting to that high elbow position and grabbing our water with the entire length of our arm and pushing down instead of just our hands and coming down. Dolphin kicks were solid. Again, there's some technical things that I'll go over in another video we need to work on. We do need to start doing more 25s all out underwater dolphin kick off the block. Academy Aquatics, run by Bill Schaefer, they have some of the best dolphin kicks. I know that's one of the exercises he does, along with side balance dolphin kick. You lay on your side and do dolphin kick, really working on trying to kick your feet all the way from one lane line to the other. And again, that helps with chest and shoulder flexibility, flexing in and flexing out. Okay, so I'll give you guys a brief look at the calendar. We did change some things from the original plan based off of what we saw this week at the meet, and we're really excited about it. This week is spring break, like I said, so we're running 5-hour practices. But here's some of the changes. We need to work on opening up the chest flexibility in our butterfly and breaststroke. We need to work on generating power. We have to use our core better to swim. A lot of the kids are stuck using their arms and their shoulders and they're getting tired instead of rotating and really driving from the hips and the core and letting the upper body follow, especially in the 100s and 200s. That'll help finish those races a lot better. Dry land we changed. Instead of doing so many plyometrics like we've done the last 10 to 12 weeks, it's going to be more of core explosion exercises, so coming up slow for a crunch and then exploding backwards. Shoulder and chest flexibility, and it's going to be high elbow with hip rotation. So coming on dry land, stand there, do hand out, go to high elbow, and then twist, but work on twisting our core instead of just pulling through with the arm. It's more technical type of dry land instead of a ton of power and such. And we'll start adding some fast reaction stuff as well. At the end of these 4 weeks, we got a GTSA meet, and like I said, it's our last short course yards. Prelims, finals meet, and we expect the kids to do very, very well there, as we're going to build up this week, next week, and then come down a bit those 2 following weeks for a recovery phase. They should be pretty primed and ready to go. So we're going to jump into some individual. Usually I send out an email. Now that we have the YouTube channel, I'm kind of digging just being able to put this up on YouTube and talking a bit little about each kid that was at the meet, and I try to do it just off the top of my memory. If I need to, I'll look up a few times, but there's a lot of things that stuck in my brain from this weekend. So up first, we got Bilou. This is her first year doing year-round swimming. She's done high school the previous 2 years, but she jumped into it, and she had a really, really solid meet. It's really been a good season for her. She's now under 110 in the 100 breast. I think she went 110 a couple times this weekend, so right off of her best time. Her best swim was in the 50, she went 31.4 in her 50 breaststroke and took 6th place, I want to say. So it was a prelims final event for her, which was awesome. She also did 200 breast and dropped 4 seconds there. Still got to learn how to swim it a little bit better, but really nice. She's got a crazy nice kick. Good job, Bilou. Keep it up. Let's keep working on the turns and the pullouts. Up next, we have Maria. Maria qualified individually in the 50 breast, 100 breast, and 200 breast. And it was a tough meet for her. This was by far the biggest competition she's ever been to. And we say this a lot about national meets, and it's also true for this meet. The first time a kid qualifies for nationals and goes and attends that meet, they usually do not swim well at nationals. All right. This was a state meet. This was her first time. Florida has a fairly quick state meet. Even we had it split north and south, but it was still very, very fast at the location we were at. So it was the biggest meet for her, which can be a little bit overwhelming. So it was really her first very big, fast meet. And she was a little bit off her times. 113 is her best in the 100 breast. She went 115, 34.8 in the 50s her best, and she was like 35 low. And then her 200 breast, I want to say she was 2 or 3 seconds off of her best time. So not the best swims of her life, but the whole experience is really what mattered for her, was developing her as a swimmer. Because now she's been there, she's been at that level, she's experienced it, she sees what it takes to make finals. So the next time she attends a meet of this caliber, she'll swim lights out. And she had to drop so much time to even qualify and get into the meet. I want to say she was 253 in the 200 breast, and she dropped down to 239 just a few weeks ago. She had been 118 in the 100 breast and dropped down to a 113. Went from like a 36 high down to a 34.8 in the 50. Maria's done awesome training. She's such a great kid to coach because she listens, and you can see she's working on it, and she's actually experiencing these concepts and making them habit, which is cool, because sometimes you explain it to the kid and they're kind of stuck in their way, or they just doesn't click in their brain and translate to actually, functioning in their body. So Maria, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to have some great meets coming up here. Up next, we have Ben B, and he came for Saturday only, did the 200 medley relay, went 30 point in his 50 fly, which is really good for him. He isn't a butterflyer, he's a backstroke freestyler, but we needed him to step up and do that for the team, and he did really, really well. And then he also did 100 free, and he was just under a minute, which is, again, a nice time for him, and he's only a freshman, so we're working on having him grow and learn, like, hey, this is what senior champs is like. It's time to get after it. So good job, Ben. After that was Bridget. We had some swim-offs for the 2 free relay, and unfortunately Bridget was on the losing end of that, but she really came to the meet and stepped it up. Split 26 in her 50 free, which is phenomenal. Nice 100 back, leading off the relay right on her best time. 50 back, she won a best time leading off the 200 medley relay. And in her 100 free, I don't remember that one exactly, but I want to say she went 100, which is best time. Previous was 103 or 102 high. So nice job. Sam C, and he was again a relay only swimmer. He only started swimming this year in high school, and now he's been going hard, but man, the last few months he's all into it. I mean, he's going to be a great swimmer. He's going to be a great addition to the high school team. He went from a 105 to a 100 100 backstroke, which is big. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets down around 53, 52, 51. No pressure, Sam. It's next year, but we'll see how that goes. He was 24 low in his 50 free, which is right around his best time. Won't be too long until he's going 22, so nice meet overall for him. Next we have Melissa. She kind of had an interesting meet. She swam great on Thursday, the day before the meet, went almost the best time in her 50 free off the blocks. And then she split around to 26 mid in the relay, which is solid. That's right where we need her to be at. She did the 50 fly individually and ended up 29-1 and ended up in a swim off for 25th place. And came into that swim off, and I wasn't really sure. She was really hesitant while we were talking about it, and I wasn't sure how she was going to handle it. Man, she got up and killed it. Went down 29.2 in the morning, dropped down to 28.2 in the evening. So dropped the second from what she had gone that morning. So that was awesome. She also went 104 in her 100 fly in the relay, which is a best time. So solid overall, solid meet for her. Again, we need to work on finishing our hundreds, especially in that freestyle, but really good meet. Andrew FP, he was a relay only swimmer. He was really nice, 118, best time for him in the 100 breaststroke. And then he did 50 free, and I want to say it was 25 mid. So again, right around his best time. He's another one like Sam, coming through on being a high school swimmer and now really transforming into a bought-in year-round club swimmer, which is going to take him really far in the next couple of years. He's only a sophomore. Next, we got Isabella. She had a pretty solid meet. Again, she did really well in the swim-off on Thursday. Actually went a best time in her 50 freestyle on 2 stopwatches, so that's awesome. Ended up getting bumped onto the A relay for the 200 free, where she split mid-26. And then she was on the A 400 free, which actually came down to a really close race with another team that we're close rivals with. And she gave her best effort, but she also had a little bit of trouble finishing the last 50, so something we'll work on, and I think we'll improve, especially with a big rest. But really swam with all her heart, all meet, so it was fun to watch her swim and compete as she's a senior. Up next, we got Hunter. Hunter, unfortunately, has been quarantined, I think 4 times now from COVID, so he has missed some major yardage training that we've done to really build that aerobic base. So he was hurting pretty good in his 200 fly. He was only 2 seconds off his best. He was on pace to be around 204, but I think he ended up at 209. He just really, I think he was split 36 on the last 50 of his 200. So we'll keep working on closing that gap, keep doing a lot of butterfly. He's got great flexibility. He's really buoyant on the water, which is good. He split 23 on the 200 freestyle relay, and he was our backstroker for the medley relays. 28.0 in the 50 back, and then first time being under a minute on the 100 back. So good job, Hunter. Blake was a relay only swimmer. He had a solid meet. He was about a second off in all his swims. I want to say he went 24 4.7 in his 200 freestyle relay, and then was around 55, did freestyle on both the 400 and medley and freestyle relays. So it was a solid meet for Blake. He was a little disappointed with it, but he's a distance guy, and we'll just keep grinding out the yardage. He'll get it done. Next is Drew. Drew was one of our individual swimmers. He had a full lineup, 6 events. He really was keyed on in the training. His 200s were awesome. Went from a 147 down to a 144 in his 200 free. This was his 3rd and 4th time, I think, some of the 2 flies. So we went from 211 down to 204, and then this meet got down to 157. So really successful swim in the 200 fly. Looking at his freestyle, he's a 50 is his main thing right now, and he was 21.4 flat start, which is fantastic, right where we want him right now. And then he split 20.7 on the relay, and then he was 47 in his 100 frees, which was really nice. So good job, Drew. Look forward to a full rest for you. Next is Ben M. He had a solid meet. He was another one. 200, I think he went from 222, 200 breast down to a 217, so a 5-second cut there. He's 15, but he's tiny, so once he starts hitting that growth spurt and gaining some weight, this kid's going to fly. He keeps working on technique. He's got beautiful distance per stroke right now. So we'll keep that and add some power. He'll be flying. I want to say he was out. His best time ever is 56.99 in the 100 fly, and I think his 200 fly he took out in 57.3. He ended up dropping about a second in that, getting down to 203. Split 23 or 24 on the relay. I think he went 23. Yeah, he had a relay start, so he went 23. And then he was 51.5 in his 100 split on the relay, so that's another best time. Right off his best time in a 100 breaststroke. So nice job, Ben. Keep up the hard work. Next is Val. Val was a relay-only swimmer, but she swam lights out. She led off the 400 melee relay with a best time going 103, which would be a senior champs cut, but of course the touchpad wasn't working properly, so the official results didn't show up right. But she also got her senior champs cut in the 400 freestyle relay, leading off in 56.00, which was awesome. And then she split 25 mid or high, leading off the 200 freestyle relay. So excellent. Very nice job, Val. Way to go. Up next is Vaden. Vaden did a really good job. Again, relay only swimmer, young swimmer, so good for him to come and experience it. Split 32 in his breaststroke, which is a 2-second drop from his previous best 50 breaststroke. And he did the 400 freestyle relay. I want to say he was 58. I could be wrong, but I know it was best time, I think by a second or two. So nice job, Vaden. Aaron P was a relay only swimmer. 101 in her 100 free, which is a 2-second drop on the relay from what she's ever been before. Had her do 50 fly, and she went 29 on the relay. And then on the 200 freestyle relay, she was 28.1. So good job, Aaron. All best times. But Constanza is next. So Constanza's kind of struggled over the last 1.5 to 2 years. She had an awesome meet, especially in her 200s. Now she's one, she kind of trended like the guys. Really, really nice 200s. 200 breaststroke. She hasn't been near her best time in a while. She went 0.2 off of her best time, 224. So really, really good. She definitely needs some more rest to go faster, but she's set up. The stroke looks beautiful. Technique looks beautiful. She's working the turns. Her pullouts have improved so much. Her streamline's improved a lot. Her dives are quick. She's not stopping when she hits the water anymore. So a little more rest, and she'll be blowing that out of the water. 2 flies, she was right off her best time in that, but that was the final event on the last day, and she was just kind of poopered out by that point. But she was 26 low on the relay, which is just a 0.5 second off of her best 50 freestyle time. And then she went 57.2, I want to say, in her 100 free, which again is just, I think, 0.5 second off of her best time ever. But she'll be one that we do a little more sprint, build a little more power, and that'll come through really, really nicely in the next 10 weeks or so. Luke S is next, and good job, Luke. He ended up having to do a 100 butterfly, and he shocked me. He hasn't done 100 butterfly in a long time. He was 107. So the fact that he was anything under 112, holy smokes. 107, Luke. That's awesome. And then he, in his 50 free on the relay, he was 26.3, I want to say. Maybe 25.7, but I think it was 26.3, which is right on his best time. So great job, Luke. Thank you for being there, supporting the team, allowing us to be able to do that relay. And last but not least, we have Ariana. Ariana was probably, she had a rough meet. She had to deal with some relay decisions just based off how she was swimming, how swim-offs went, that were pretty tough as a competitive athlete to have to hear. And then, being the coach, I have to make these decisions. And what I decided to go with, what the rest of the coaching staff agreed with, unfortunately, she was kind of on the short end of that. But I do want to give her some props. At first she was very upset, but she did settle down, did a good job coming and showing up for the team. And her body wasn't exactly where we wanted it to be as far as being able to perform really well. But she showed up for those relays and tried her heart out for them. Hopefully it lights a fire in her gut and we get practices, and throughout the entire practice and every single set, Ariana's capable of beating pretty much every girl in the pool. And she'll do it sets here and there, but now she really needs to hone in, and hopefully she's hungry for it on every single set, maintaining the correct heart rate, but being up there with some of these girls who swim longer distances and holding with them, because she's capable of doing that. And she's got a lot of talent, and hopefully we get to see that in the next few months, hopefully. So overall, awesome meet. Coaches were super excited, super happy. We had a great time watching the kids, hanging out at the pool, outside with the kids, of course, with COVID. We were outside and had to wear masks the whole time, but we had a blast. We were able to hang out with some parents while we were there too. So thank you all, you rad people, supporting that meet, being at that meet, and doing what you guys do. And looking forward to the rest of the spring training break and GTSA swim meet coming up. Make sure you sign up. All right, that's it. Thank you.